Spooky music
Yeah,
today.
I liked the visuals.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Live from the Owl's Nest. Look, we got the owl with us today. This is great. Our
Hey,
background work. So I'm Jamie,
I'm Alicia.
and together we're RoyalWise Computer Software Training and Support, specializing in QuickBooks Online, Microsoft Office, and
All things Apple.
all things Apple. So how are we doing?
I'm doing great. How are you
It's
doing?
it's still February. I hope everybody had a wonderful.
We're only
What?
halfway.
Can you believe it? No, wait. That was the beginning of February joke that everybody was making.
You make it again in two weeks. When
There we
it's
go.
already
Hopefully,
March.
everybody had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and nobody was too heartbroken about the Super Bowl. Maybe you were very happy or very not happy. Everybody's got something, but Super Bowl was a very great, good game,
It's a
though.
good
I
game.
thought it
Yeah,
was a.
it's actually the first Super Bowl I've watched in years, and that was because the Eagles were playing. So I'm glad that I got a good game.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into some stuff going on.
Mhm.
I'm going to start off with talking about some Apple stuff real quick. And that is that there is some recommendations that Apple just put out updates to all the operating systems, the iPad OS, iOS, and Mac OS. And it is recommended that anybody and everybody that are running the latest versions of these update to this version because there are security patches. There was a known vulnerability found in a WebKit that allows certain web content to run code.
Hmm.
I think everybody knows we don't want websites to be able to run code. That's bad.
Not on my computer.
So today's the day, or yesterday was the day. So make sure that you are looking at your software updates, of course, on the iPhone and the iPad. That's in your settings under General software updates, and on macOS Ventura, it's now in the same thing, system settings under the general software update area.
They're finally the same name now instead of system preferences and
They did in
settings.
Ventura, they changed it to system settings, not just settings on the
Okay.
phone, and system settings on the computer. But that's another weird
That
thing
makes
in
sense.
Ventura for everybody that's moved over to version 13. Ventura preferences, the word preferences has gone from everywhere.
Hmm.
So even if you go to mail, it's settings. If you, it's not mail preferences anymore. Safari settings. Every
Well, that's a lot less engineering-y.
engineering.
Right.
Yes. So less words the better, absolutely. And the other kind of vulnerability thing I want to mention is I've gotten this call 3 or 4 times, people in tears, just absolutely torn up that they had a pop-up show up on their computer that said that they'd been hacked and that they couldn't close the window or quit the browser. There was a 1-800 number. Please call this number. We're the only one that can save you. Everybody, that pop-up is fake. It's actually an advertisement. It's actually a very, very, very misleading advertisement. Especially if you're on a Mac, but even if you're on a Windows machine, honestly, if you're on a website of any sort and something pops up and says that you've been hacked or you've been compromised or Apple's security needs your attention, there's no such thing as that.
They know it happened because they're about to do it to you.
It's not a thing. And honestly, and this is the thing that blows me away, everybody gets the same message. Nobody has scanned your machine. Nobody knows what's happening on your machine. It is a canned message. It's fake text. Everybody sees the same thing. What they're hoping is that you're having a bad day and that you react poorly. Their job is to manipulate you emotionally, catch you at the wrong moment so that you're not thinking straight, and then you call the 1-800 number and they try to get your credit card. Now, luckily, they're not trying to hurt your machine because they want to call you back next year and get more money out of you. Because call it a subscription. We'll call you back and sell you more security later. So they're not really going to harm your machine most of the time. But honestly, if you don't know the source, don't make the phone call. Right? Don't click links and random emails. In emails, I saw a scam this week that blew me away. Somebody went into PayPal and created a company and called their company PayPal LLC and then started sending out random invoices for $500 to anybody and they're just random email addresses. Hey, you owe us $500. But the company's name was PayPal LLC. And when you did the from line, it came from services at paypal.com. But the reply to line said so and so at yahoo.com. So it wasn't actually from PayPal. It was from a company that somebody created inside the PayPal system. So the invoices did come from PayPal, giving them a little bit of, an air of that they were real
A
and they
little bit
weren't
of
real.
authenticity,
Yeah,
but
just
you
a
gotta
touch,
read
just a
carefully.
touch. And that was a tricky one. And luckily I had a client, she's 90 years old and she caught it. I was so proud of Helen that she
Yay, Helen.
just didn't call. She didn't respond. She just closed her laptop, called me. And by the way, call me at 5 or 10 minutes and we'll get that pop-up gone and we'll take care of you. So, but it's even a free service most of the time. I hate those people. I hate them. I really don't like them. And therefore I am a crusader against the fake pop-up and the scam emails and all that kind of stuff. So
Yay, JMac.
if you need it,
Thanks for fixing it.
let us know. Well, they say JMac fixes everything, but we'll talk about that later. I hear there's some new things going on feature-wise in QuickBooks. Why don't you jump in and tell us what's happening?
Yeah, Intuit is rocking and rolling. First, Intuit is turning 40 this year, and they are celebrating by actually authorizing all of their employees to go out and do 40 hours of paid community service, which I'm really proud of them for getting all of those employees out into the world and helping people. So that's super cool. Software-wise, they have been working on a whole lot of different things. One thing to know is that QuickBooks Desktop 2020 is being discontinued. And so if you're using QuickBooks Desktop 2020, some of it will work. The bank feeds are going to stop working, and they're not going to offer any security patches. And given what you just said about security, that's a really good reason to
Especially
upgrade
when it's
to
banking
2021.
information.
And yeah, it's moving to a subscription model, but that's just the new reality for software. So just bite the bullet and go ahead and update to at least 2020. Well, actually, at this point, you should update to the 2022 or 23 version. Along those same lines, there is now a QuickBooks Online app for Mac. Now, you wonder what that means, because QuickBooks Online is online. So usually you get into QuickBooks Online by going into Chrome or your favorite browser, but they actually now have a native Mac app that you can access your QuickBooks Online from the Mac app. I've tried things like this in the past. I don't quite get the point, but some people like it. So I just want to let you know that they have ported it over to Mac. One feature that I'm super excited about is revenue recognition. So if you're a user of QuickBooks Online Advanced, especially if you are either in subscription services or nonprofit world, now when your customer pays you a lump sum that's really annual, you can actually turn the product into an annual revenue, and then it puts it all in deferred revenue. And then every month it automatically parses their lump sum payment into all 12 months. So it's super cool news for anybody who gets paid once for a year of services from your clients. Your reports can actually now be accurate.
Wow.
It is. It's a wow.
I almost understood how cool that was.
Yeah, well, considering that we do subscriptions, so that when anybody
Oh, our
comes in
membership
as
subscriptions,
our
absolutely.
membership.
You can pay annually and get 2 months for free.
Exactly.
Then we split up into 10 months or 12 months.
We're still dividing it into 12. They're the ones who get the benefit.
There we go. Good, good. They get the benefit. Excellent.
Yeah. And then my last piece of news is you've heard me talk about the business network before. Intuit has realized that because they have this network of millions of people using QuickBooks Online, that they can automate some of the information sharing. And so they're slowly rolling this out. But when you go to create a new customer or a new vendor and you start typing the business name in there, it will give you a list of possible matches. And if the company you need is on the list, it will autofill their information, but it'll make it useful to them, but it's all asterisks to you, but it'll fill in an email address and a street address for you. And then you can invite them into the network if they're not already. And then this is going to be, it's going to start with a way of linking the files together. It is opt-in, so you aren't going to be giving away information that you don't mean to give away. But, as a business owner, you want people to be able to contact you, so it's a good thing. And future iterations of it are going to allow automatic invoicing and billing. So, for example, if you come to me for services and I do a cleanup in your QuickBooks, I can send you a bill. I'm sorry, I send you an invoice and it's going to show up automatically in your system as a bill. And that is going to really streamline electronic processing for a whole lot of people so that you don't have to go get an email and then forward it in or manually create it. If I create it, you can accept it.
Does it have to be QuickBooks to QuickBooks?
It is QuickBooks Online to QuickBooks
There
Online.
we got. I got to be in the universe.
Yeah,
That's
so
what you say. The Apple universe, the QuickBooks universe.
And this is a metaverse now. Isn't it?
Metaverse. Well, speaking of, today's Quantumania Day.
I know where I'm going to be tonight.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming out tonight. We're going to be there on opening night, so super excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah. What else you got going on?
You know what? I am still very excited about my new webcast/podcast called JMac Fixes Everything. And so if you want to check it out, please do. We've got a website that's at jmacfixeseverything.com, or even easier, askjmac.com, askjmac.com. And that'll show you we've got 2 episodes out. You go to YouTube, go to our RoyalWise channel. You can watch the video, and you'll actually see all the examples. But anywhere you get your podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, all the different places that you would get a podcast, just search for JMac Fixes Everything. And the podcast is a little bit different from the webcast, just a couple intros and outros on there, but we're having a super good time. And I'll tell you, every single episode has 50 tips of iPhone usage, Apple Watch usage. We talk a lot about the Apple Watch, and you might see some shorts coming out of some of the things we talk about, just kind of some little tastes, some little amuse-bouche of the show.
Say that again.
The amuse-bouche. Yeah, there we go. So that's the only French I know, because it's about food.
Right.
So anyway, JMac Fixes
Bon appetit.
Everything. Oh, well, okay. So that's the name of a magazine. That's why you know that.
No, it's just basic French. How about Bon Apple?
Bon Apple. No, we're not. We're not going there. So anyway, askjmac.com. We'd love for you to come and listen to the podcast and throw some questions at us too. Video record yourself, audio record yourself with any Apple questions you have, and send them in to us. askjmac@gmail.com, and maybe we'll answer them live on the show.
And it's a great podcast, whether you're making the switch to Apple or you're using it, but you know how to do what you know how to do, but you haven't been exploring the other features. I've been listening to it myself when I'm driving in the car, and I myself am picking up really cool tidbits that I didn't know about. Yeah.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Okay. Any classes
Yeah.
coming up for you?
I actually don't have my next class is actually in March. I have my running reports in QuickBooks Online to Analyze for Growth class, which is a 2-hour class on using reporting in QuickBooks Online, and that one's coming up on March 7th. And you can register for that by going to royalwise.com and click up on the calendar and go to March, and then you can click to register. When you register for any of my classes, you get lifetime access, including the re-recordings of the videos every year or two, so that it's always up to date. And I am also going to be a guest at Lyceo's The Grove coming up on February 23rd. It's in the afternoon. I think it's 2 p.m. Pacific time. And they have asked me to go in and talk about all the new features that are coming out in QuickBooks. They're calling it 10 features that you didn't know were in QuickBooks Online. And I'm calling it, look what I found. And so please do join. It's completely free. We'll have a link if you're watching this on YouTube or on our RoyalWise Facebook channel. Otherwise, you can go to thegrove.thinkific.com and go ahead and register for it. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Thanks for having me, The Grove and Alicia.
We love guest speakers. We love being guest speakers. We love having guest speakers. And that's a really important thing about all of our classes, not just Alicia's, mine too. Everything we do live as a webinar, we record, we publish as an on-demand video. So if there's a class that you missed or a class that you still want to take, go to our on-demand list, and it's the same class that we have in the live webinar. You always get lifetime access, and you always get evergreen content. So when we re-record it, you'll get that new content down the road.
Right. And you have a class coming up this Friday, right?
I teach classes?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I do. Okay. So this Friday at 1 o'clock is my level 3 class, or the third of a series. I've been doing a series all month. And this is the Staying Organized class. This used to be called File Management. And literally it's a class about how to use the Finder, what is the Finder as a tool. But also we talk a lot of kind of concept about thinking about naming construction, file and folder structure, what to call things, and maybe when we do need to organize and when we don't need to organize. So what is a good filing system, and when do we need to use it? The thing I kind of joke about is I'll teach you how to clean up a mess if you already have a mess in your documents or your desktop folder, and I'll teach you how to not make a mess moving forward. So next time you don't have to clean anything up, right? Let's learn how to do it right the first time. And then we take all of that and apply it to the file open and the file save pop-up windows so that we do it the right time, the right way.
Yeah. Do you still do that cool little trick with putting folders on the doc?
Yeah, we do that. Actually, honestly, we just did 2 weeks ago. We did our focus on Mac basics, focus on fundamentals, and that's when we were teaching people how to put things on the dock and take things off the dock, including files and folders to the right and apps to the left. And what's the recent area that's kind of blown everybody's mind? Why did those come and go? That's the recent app area. And then last week we did our Mastering Your Mac class, which was really a great class. I restructured it and was very happy the way it turned out. but we talk about multi-touch gestures on the magic mouse and the magic trackpad. We talk about full screen apps and split screen apps and multiple desktops and a lot of more advanced Apple features that not everybody takes advantage of because they just don't know they're there, or it happens and they're not sure what it
They don't know what
is,
they did.
right?
Right.
And so Mastering Your Mac is a great upper level class to really supercharge your productivity, really supercharge your effectiveness and your efficiency within the Mac OS operating system.
Okay. And so people can either sign up for just the class coming up this Friday on file management, or they can actually sign up for the whole bundle and get the last 2 classes as well, correct?
Yeah, you can still sign up for the bundle and you save, I think, 20%, 25%, something like that. I can't remember exactly what we saved, but yeah, you can buy all 3 classes in a bundle. And then once the videos are published for the first 2, you'll have that available on demand, and you can still come this Friday and do Staying Organized. And you don't necessarily need the other 2 classes to understand the Staying Organized class, right? It's base level enough that you'll learn everything you need to. And then you'll also have all of them on demand within about 2 weeks so that you can go back and watch the whole series again when you want to.
Excellent. Good.
Yay.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. One last shout out. We want to give a shout out to Peyton Miller, our marketing guy who's responsible for all our Owl Freds and backgrounds and marketing. He just hit his 2-year anniversary with us at OWLS. So thanks, Peyton, for all you do for making us look so good.
He also flew back to Kansas and got to watch the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl with his dad.
With his dad, yeah.
So yeah, a little life achievement there that he's been trying to make happen for years and years.
Bucket list.
Yep. So mark that off the bucket list. Congratulations, Peyton, and welcome back, Jeff, from a week of vacation. How did we survive that? I'm not really sure.
I kind of didn't.
I kinda didn't.
Honestly, no.
Yeah. Well,
I'm really, really glad Jeff is back.
if you ever have somebody go on vacation and you get some looping in emails, let us know, and we'll try to help you figure out how to get out of that loop.
We got good at that.
That was with that. I'm Jamie.
I'm Alicia.
This has been live from the Owl's Nest. We really appreciate you guys coming, and we will
See you in
see you
class.
in class, everybody.